everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wheelz Woodworking. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make an end grain cutting board, or also known as a butcher block cutting board. And this one right here that you're going to be seeing me make on camera, I made the other three behind the scenes as we were going along. This one is walnut, purple heart, and Paduke. And then
So right here I'm just currently cutting strips of Paduke, Purple Heart, and Walnut. I'm starting them at 1 3/4 inches. It's a good thing about cutting boards is I just had scraps laying around the shop, so I just picked them up and started breaking them down. And now I'm just marking the high spots, the low spots, and getting ready to take them over to the joiner. So right here, I'm just getting ready to do the first glue up. So I'm just organizing it, figuring out what direction I want the boards, putting slight, if there's imperfections on the odd side, put that on the bottom, but just getting it all prepped up. I do it just under 12.5 inches wide, that way it can still fit in my planer well. And this one I did about 25, 26 inches long because I am going to be cutting them down into strips for the end grain next.
So as you guys already seen, last night I organized the pieces, glued it up with Titebond level 3 glue. Always use that when I'm doing cutting boards because it's waterproof. I don't want one that's water resistant. So yeah, now I'm going to go forward with the second part because we're going to have to do another glue up now. Now I could easily take all the clamps off, go put it through, smooth it out, put it through the planer, and do my sanding, put it together, and that's one cutting board you can make. Or what we're going to do here, I'm showing you how to do an end grain cutting board. So we're going to go through that process. We're going to clean it all up, go through the jointer, go through the planer, and kind of smooth it out. And then we're going to cut our next sections for our next glue up. So hang in there, let's do this.
So like I mentioned before, when I did my first glue up, I made sure it was just under 12.5 inches wide. That way it would fit into my planer. So right here, I'm just cleaning up all the edges, just finished cleaning up the sides, and now I'm just using a stop block against my table saw fence, and I'm cutting each strip at 1.75 inches. That way it's nice and thick for the next glue up. So when doing the second glue up, I try my absolute best to keep it as flat as possible, because anything after this would just be taken out of the thickness at the end. So any glue up, I just try and make sure when I'm clamping it, I keep the same pressure. I want to keep any warp or bend out of it.
Okay, so I got this all cleaned up, clamps, it sat overnight, and I am going to take it down to the planer. Now there's a lot of controversy about putting butcher block through the planer once you got it up, that different ways. Now you can take the time and sand this. It's going to take a while. I have done it in the past. I got sharp blades. They're pretty new. I put them on, I don't know, a week ago, so I got pretty much brand new blades on my planer, and I do slight, like I mean slight little passes, like just touch it. And I'll spend the time, I'll spend 15, 20 minutes over there sometimes doing little passes. But yeah, let's go over there. One of the fun parts, we're sanding and doing some more sanding, and guess what? A little more sanding. Because anyone that's made a butcher block cutting board knows the extent of sanding that comes into it. So when you build these, plan on sanding for a while. And so I finished the bottom part. I started with 60 grit, then moved to 80, then went to 120, then to 220. And so now I'm just doing the top part. So I've kind of just leveling it out. What I do is kind of just see where there's any high spots. Sometimes you get a little bit of corner spots. So I know that there's a high spot, or this is a low spot. This corner's a bit of a high spot. This one is a low spot. And this one right here is pretty much good where we need it. So what the best way to do it is just to put lines along it. Go sand with that grit. You don't want to overdo it. Come back, check it out after you've done that. Then re-put the lines down. And it can be a tedious process, but in the long run, it's worth it, and it makes these things look beautiful. Okay, so I've now finished about 80% of the sanding on the top and bottom, flatten it out, smooth. I just want to go over it with 220 and just make sure it's all cleaned up. But now we're going to go over to the router table, and what I want to do is put a juice groove around this. As I mentioned before, this is a board from my grandparents, so it's very sentimental to me and means a lot. And I can remember as a kid growing up, always going over to their house. It was always roast, going over there, and they were always cutting the roast. So this will be perfect for them, and they'll have the juice groove going around it. So what I want to do is just do like I said, the juice groove, and also I want to round over the edges, and we want to put handles on this. And then once we do that, clean it up with 220, just kind of do a quick sand on the sides, and yeah, then the hard work pays off. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is when the hard work starts to pay off. As you guys have currently been watching in the video, this is the cutting board I have been making. This one is for my Nan and Jack. And this other one is going to be for my Grandma Rose. This is just a simple one that I'll be keeping in the house. And this one for my parents. Yeah, I love making these. They're simple, easy gifts for family members, for friends, wedding gifts. And when we're just about to put the oils on, what looks phenomenal once they're done. And that's when they start to come to life. And that's when I start getting excited. That's when I start to see my hard work paying off.
Oh yeah, this thing's thirsty. Wow, this thing's...
Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm new to making YouTube videos. Not so new to woodworking, but definitely new to making YouTube videos, the cutting, the editing, and all that. I'm definitely learning, so please work with me while I learn the kinks in it. And yeah, go ahead if you like what I'm doing. Hit the subscribe button, support my channel. And yeah, hit the like button. It really helps out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned. Like I've said before, I'm going to be trying to post a video every week to 10 days. So I look forward to hearing from you guys, and please leave comments, anything that you have questions on, or anything that you even think I could have done better. I'm open to constructive criticism, and I like learning, and I truly love woodworking. It's just a true passion of mine. So awesome. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time.